So since today is NFL Sunday, after all, of course, living in Florida, I am a Bucs fan, and I am wearing the jersey of probably one of the greatest football players of all time, Tom Brady. Hate him or love him, he is one of the best. I wanted to talk about how should an NFL player train during the season and during the off season. Seems to be a common question that I found on my Instagram. And the approach most people take is completely, utterly backwards. Now, before I get into that, please hit like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon so you can be notified when I bust fitness myths and so you can learn the truth about the real science behind exercise. So, without further ado, how the hell should NFL players be training? Well, for one, lots of NFL athletes use Olympic-style lifts with the mistaken, wrong, mythological belief that explosive movements make you more explosive on the field. This is completely wrong. And for any well-educated exercise physiologist who's aware of Henneman's size principle of motor unit recruitment and is aware of the recruitment sequentially of slow, intermediate, and fast twitch motor units based on demand, would realize that you don't need to train explosively to exhibit explosiveness on the field. Now keep in mind, the purpose of exercise is to improve the 5 general trainable factors of functional ability, which include muscular strength, muscular size, cardiovascular conditioning, metabolic conditioning, and connective tissue and bone strength. Notice I did not say explosiveness. I did not say power. I did not say speed. These are all abstract ideas of how one would display athletic prowess or strength and conditioning on the field in combination with their skill. So in a nutshell, there's no way to train for explosiveness other than to become as strong as you possibly can and be as good at your skill as possibly can. The stronger you are, the more contractile force your body can produce, the more you will be able to accelerate your mass and produce force and explosiveness and power. Also, if you get really good at a skill and you can perform it really efficiently, you can perform it with speed and power and explosiveness. For instance, the better you get at jumping, the stronger the muscles are involved with jumping, the more you will be able to explode in a jump. You cannot train for explosiveness. This is asinine and just dumb. And unfortunately, most strength and conditioning coaches, they really don't even, their job is relatively useless. When it comes to strengthening and conditioning the athletes, they're really just glorified babysitters. So, Olympic lifts, absolutely not. Because here's the thing. An NFL player's career is really dependent, obviously on his skill, but on his longevity. You want to preserve your joints and your bones and all the other structures in your body as long as you can, because the healthier you can stay, the longer you can play. I don't know if you've noticed, but when people get injured in the NFL, they get dropped like flies, never to see the field again. So you want durability. And Olympic lifts are not going to provide you with any benefit as opposed to regular, just progressive resistance training, but a huge amount more of wear and tear on your joints and a way higher risk of injury on the off season. And I use Saquon Barkley as an example because this guy was well known for being able to power clean like 400 pounds. And when I saw that, I'm like, this guy is going to get hurt in the NFL like immediately. Sure enough, second year, blew his ACL, and I can guarantee he's going to get hurt again and again and again because you know on the off season, Saquon Barkley is doing Olympic lifts because he believes that that's what made him successful when it's got nothing to do with it. So how should an NFL player train? Well, on the off season, they should be doing very basic full body, maybe upper and lower split 2-3 times a week, and then resting and recovering as much as possible because there is so much wear and tear and stress and damage on the body during the season. You have to rebuild that. You need to take time for all that to rebuild. So first of all, right after the season, I would take 8 weeks, maybe even 12 weeks off from everything. Let all the micro trauma, all the damage, all the connective tissue trauma just just repair, get back to healthy. And then slowly incorporate low force, low momentum, progressive, intense resistance training or high intensity training in the off season, 2, maybe 3 times a week. So that way you can also amplify the amount of recovery you're getting from the workout and the amount of repair that you're getting to counterbalance the traumatic stress on the body during the season. Now, as you approach the season, many coaches or many stupid players will ramp up the training thinking that if they can get stronger and faster for the season that they're going to be a better player. Well, here's the thing. We know that the biggest, strongest, fastest players are not the best players. Players with the most skill are the best players. While strength and conditioning can enhance your performance mildly, believe it or not, it is mild, your skill practice as an athlete is going to make the largest difference in your performance on the field. Not your strength, not your conditioning, but your skill. The purpose of a strength and conditioning program on the off season is to build the most amount of muscle tissue possible so that way you can become as injury resistant as possible. Also, keep in mind, during the season, it is, especially American football, it is so much wear and tear on your body, you are going to lose muscle. It is so catabolic, it is so stressful, you're going to lose muscle no matter what. So you want to build as much muscle as possible to reduce the amount you lose during the season. Because if you lose muscle during the season, you are not going to perform as well, and you're going to become more susceptible to injury. So, that leads me to the next part. How do you train during the season? Well, here's a secret. You don't train at all during the season. You're not going to be able to make any improvement. During an American football season, and most other sports for that matter, with resistance training tacked on to the huge amount of stress and wear and tear on the body, you're not going to make anything. So, a month or 2 before the season started, I would coach an NFL player to back off to maybe even just 1 very low volume resistance training session per week, full body, maybe like 5 or 6 exercises, just to act as a stopgap before the season, but not to try to make any additional improvement a month before the season, because you're not. You want to be as recovered as possible. A lot of NFL players make the mistake of pushing it so hard right up into the season where they don't recover from the trauma on their joints and connective tissues, and boom, they hit an injury. So during the season, don't train at all, because not only are you not going to make any gains from training in addition to the huge amount of stress on your body that an NFL player will sustain, but you're not even going to be able to recover from it. Not only are you not going to make gains, you're not going to be able to recover. You are going to literally regress in your injury resistance and your strength and conditioning if you add strength and conditioning onto the wear and tear associated with practice and games. So my advice for an NFL player: basic high intensity training during the off season. Take a couple months off directly after the season, then slowly incorporate high intensity resistance training, and then back off about 8 weeks out to maybe just 1 very low volume workout a week up until about 2 or 3 weeks before the first game, and then no resistance training throughout the rest of the season. This is the approach Mark Asanovich took with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Indianapolis Colts back when he trained back in the when he was a head strength conditioning coach for these teams back in the late 90s and early 2000s. I've talked to Mark Asanovich on many occasions, got some ideas from him. And back when he was the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were the most injury-resistant team in the NFL, fewest injuries, and the most powerful, explosive, and fast defense in the NFL. And it was funny because he told me, he said, you know, they would say, Mark, what is your secret? You have the most explosive, fast, fierce defense in the league. And he goes, you want to know the secret? We train the slowest. So that's how you want to approach as any kind of football player or a NFL athlete. That's how you want to approach strength and conditioning during the season and after the season. So if you're an athlete and you want one-on-one coaching with me, email me. There's going to be a card or a advertisement at the end of this video for private one-on-one coaching. We just sit down for 90 minutes, we'll figure out your situation, and I will personally give you the best approach to it. If you guys are stuck in lockdown, can't make it to the gym, Try my home high intensity training workout. It will be the most effective home workout you will ever be able to do. This workout also comes with ongoing updates of content and exercises. So once you purchase it, I will be adding more content to it. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, _J_Vincent. And again, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so you can be notified when I tear apart the fitness industry with truth.